At 2:47 a.m., Prince's new bodyguard heard something he'd never heard before, the sound of a legend crying alone in the dark. What happened 3 months later would prove that moment changed everything. Marcus Thompson had been a bodyguard for 12 years. He'd protected senators, tech billionaires, and 3 different movie stars. He'd handled death threats, stalkers, and paparazzi ambushes. He thought he'd seen everything a protection detail could throw at him. But nothing prepared him for Prince. It was September 14, 1989. Marcus's first night at Paisley Park. The compound sat outside Minneapolis like a purple fortress, 65,000 square feet of studios, rehearsal spaces, and living quarters where Prince created the music that made him a legend. The orientation had been brief. Gilbert Davidson, Prince's manager, laid out the rules in 5 minutes. Prince works at night. Don't disturb him unless there's an emergency. Don't ask for autographs. Don't tell anyone what you see here. And most importantly, Gilbert paused for emphasis, never go to Studio A after midnight. Prince records there alone, and he doesn't want anyone around. Understood? Marcus nodded. Simple enough. Gilbert handed him a radio and a set of keys. You'll patrol the exterior and monitor the cameras. Prince has had some issues lately with fans getting too close. Your job is to make sure nobody gets in who shouldn't be here. What about inside? Marcus asked. Prince doesn't need protection inside his own home. Just keep the perimeter secure. That should have been the end of it. A straightforward security job. Walk the grounds, check the cameras, keep the crazies out. But at 2:47 a.m., during his third perimeter check, Marcus heard something that changed everything. The sound came from inside the building. Faint. Almost imperceptible. But Marcus had been trained to notice things others missed. It sounded like crying. Marcus stopped walking. Listened. There it was again. Definitely crying. Male voice. Coming from somewhere near the east wing where the studios were located. His first instinct was to call it in. Check with the overnight staff. Make sure everything was okay. But something stopped him. The vulnerability in that sound. The rawness. Whoever was crying wasn't in danger. They were in pain. Marcus stood there for a full minute, debating. His job was exterior security. Going inside, especially toward the studios, especially after midnight, violated the one rule Gilbert had emphasized. But what if someone needed help? He made the decision. He was going in. The East Wing corridor was dimly lit, just purple LED strips along the floor providing ambient light. Marcus moved quietly, his training kicking in. The crying was louder now, clearer. It was coming from Studio A. The door was cracked open. Just an inch. Enough to let sound escape. Marcus approached carefully. He should announce himself. Call out. Follow protocol. But something about the raw emotion in that crying made him hesitate. He looked through the crack in the door. And there, sitting on the floor of Studio A with his back against the wall, knees pulled to his chest, was Prince. No stage clothes. No makeup. Just jeans and a t-shirt. And he was crying. Deep, broken sobs that shook his small frame. Marcus had seen Prince on TV. Confident. Mysterious. In control. The man on the floor looked nothing like that. He looked human. Broken. Lost. On the floor next to Prince was a photograph. Even from the doorway, Marcus could see it clearly, a man who looked like an older version of Prince. Father, Marcus thought immediately. Prince picked up the photograph, looked at it, and spoke to it like the man in the picture could hear him. I'm sorry, Daddy. I'm so sorry. I should have been there. His voice cracked. More tears. You died thinking I didn't care. But I did. I did care. I didn't know how to show you. Marcus felt like he was witnessing something sacred. Something private. Something nobody was supposed to see. His instinct was to back away slowly, pretend this never happened. But then Prince looked up. Their eyes met through the crack in the door. For 3 seconds, neither moved. Prince's eyes were red, his face wet with tears. Marcus stood frozen, caught in the act of witnessing something he wasn't supposed to see. Then Prince did something unexpected. He didn't yell. Didn't tell Marcus to leave. He just looked at him with those tear-filled eyes and said 2 words. "Help me." Marcus pushed the door open slowly and stepped inside. He didn't know what "help me" meant. Help with what? Security? A medical issue? But looking at Prince sitting on that floor, broken and vulnerable, Marcus understood. Help me not be alone with this. Marcus sat down on the floor across from Prince. Not too close, respecting the man's space, but close enough to show he was present. "I'm Marcus," he said quietly. "Your new bodyguard." Prince nodded, wiping his face with the back of his hand. "First night." "First night. Gilbert tell you not to come to Studio A after midnight?" "He did. But you came anyway." "I heard." Marcus paused. "I heard someone in pain. Thought maybe you needed help." Prince looked at him for a long moment. "You were supposed to ignore it. Everyone ignores it." "I'm not everyone." Something in that response made Prince's expression soften. He picked up the photograph and held it out so Marcus could see it clearly. "My father. John Nelson. He died 4 months ago. Heart attack. I was in Europe. Touring. By the time I flew back, he was already gone." Marcus looked at the photo. The resemblance was striking. "I'm sorry. We had a complicated relationship," Prince continued, his voice steadier now but still raw. "He was a musician too. Jazz pianist. Talented. But bitter. He never made it big, and I think watching me succeed, it hurt him. Made him angry." Prince set the photo down gently. "Last time I saw him, we fought. About music, about my career, about everything. I said things I shouldn't have said. He said things he shouldn't have said. And then I left. Went on tour. And he died thinking I hated him." "Did you?" Marcus asked. Prince looked up sharply. Then his expression crumbled again. "No. I loved him. But I didn't know how to tell him that. We were too similar. Both stubborn. Both hurting. Both hiding behind our music instead of talking." Marcus understood family pain. His own father had been distant, cold. They'd never resolved it before the old man died. Sometimes the people we love the most are the hardest to talk to. "Yeah." Prince's voice was barely a whisper. "Yeah, they are." They sat in silence for several minutes. Not uncomfortable silence. Just presence. 2 men in a studio in the middle of the night, sharing grief without needing to fill every moment with words. Finally, Prince spoke again. "You know what the worst part is?" Marcus waited. "I come here every night. To this studio. At this time. And I cry. Every single night for 4 months. And nobody knows. My band doesn't know. My manager doesn't know. The world thinks I'm Prince, mysterious, controlled, untouchable. But every night at 2 a.m., I come here and I fall apart." He looked at Marcus with an intensity that was almost uncomfortable. "You're the first person who's seen this. The first person who knows." The weight of that statement hung in the air. Marcus was being trusted with something precious and dangerous, the truth behind the legend. "Why are you telling me?" Marcus asked. Prince thought about it. "Because you could have walked away. Everyone else would have walked away. But you came in. You asked if I needed help." He paused. "Maybe I need someone to know. Maybe carrying this alone is killing me." Marcus made a decision in that moment. A decision that would define the next 3 months and beyond. "I'll keep your secret," Marcus said. "But on one condition." Prince raised an eyebrow. "You stop carrying this alone. You don't have to tell the world. You don't have to tell your band. But you let me carry some of it. That's what I'm here for. Not just to keep people out. But to help you when you need it." For the first time that night, Prince smiled. Small. Sad. But real. Deal. Over the next 3 months, Marcus became more than Prince's bodyguard. He became his confidant. His witness. His anchor. Every night around 2 a.m., Marcus would find Prince in Studio A. Sometimes Prince was crying. Sometimes he was just sitting in silence. Sometimes he was playing piano, slow, mournful melodies that sounded like goodbye letters to his father. Marcus never judged. Never told Prince to get over it or move on. He just sat there. Present. Solid. A reminder that Prince didn't have to carry his grief alone. During the day, when the rest of Prince's team was around, they played their roles. Marcus was the professional bodyguard. Prince was the mysterious genius. Nobody suspected the nighttime ritual happening in Studio A. But something was changing in Prince. Marcus could see it. The crying sessions became shorter. The silences became less heavy. The piano melodies started shifting from mournful to something else, not happy exactly, but healing. One night in early December, Prince looked at Marcus and said, "I think I'm ready to let him go." "Your father?" "Yeah. I'll never stop loving him. I'll never stop wishing we'd resolved things before he died. But I think I can stop punishing myself for it." Marcus nodded. "That's growth. You helped me get here," Prince said. "You know that, right? Just by showing up every night. By not walking away. That's what I'm here for." Prince smiled. "I don't think Gilbert hired you to be my therapist." "No," Marcus agreed. "But he hired me to protect you. Sometimes protection looks different than keeping people out. Have you ever had someone show up for you when you were falling apart? Someone who didn't try to fix you, didn't judge you, just stayed?" That's what Marcus did for Prince. He didn't solve Prince's grief. He just made sure Prince didn't face it alone. Sometimes that's the greatest gift we can give someone. On December 18, 1989, 3 months after Marcus's first night, everything changed. It started with a letter. It arrived at Paisley Park addressed to Prince, no return address. Gilbert opened it, standard protocol for screening Prince's mail. Inside was a single page. No greeting. No signature. Just 10 words. "You took everything from me. Now I'm taking you." Gilbert immediately called Marcus into his office. "We've got a problem." Marcus read the letter. Short. Direct. Threatening. The kind of thing that could be a prank or could be deadly serious. "Has Prince received threats before?" Marcus asked. "Occasionally. Usually from obsessed fans. We forward them to local PD, increase security for a few weeks, and they blow over. But this one." Gilbert's face was grim. "This one feels different." "Different how?" "It's not from a fan. It's from someone who feels wronged. Those are the dangerous ones." Over the next 3 days, 2 more letters arrived. Each one more specific. More personal. The writer knew Prince's schedule. New details about Paisley Park that only someone with inside knowledge would know. "You think it's someone from inside?" Marcus asked. "I don't know," Gilbert admitted. "But I need you to stay close to Prince. Very close. Until we figure out who this is." Marcus increased security. Additional cameras. Extra locks. He started personally screening anyone who entered Paisley Park. He slept in 4-hour shifts, never leaving the compound. But he didn't tell Prince about the letters. Gilbert had made that decision. "Prince has enough to deal with," Gilbert said. "Let's handle this quietly." Marcus disagreed but followed orders. His job was to protect Prince, not make decisions about what Prince should or shouldn't know. Then, on December 21 at 2:47 a.m., exactly 3 months after Marcus first heard Prince crying, everything came to a head. Marcus was in the security room monitoring cameras when he saw it. A figure moving across the south lawn. Not walking normally. Moving with purpose. Intent. Heading toward the building. Marcus grabbed his radio. Perimeter breach. South lawn. Requesting backup. But backup was 10 minutes away. And the figure was 30 seconds from the building. Marcus ran. He burst through the south door just as the intruder was trying to force a window. The man was wearing all black, face covered. In his hand was something that glinted in the security lights. A knife. "Stop!" Marcus shouted. The man turned. Even with the mask, Marcus could see his eyes. Wild. Desperate. Dangerous. "Where is he?" the man shouted. "Where's Prince?" Marcus positioned himself between the intruder and the door leading inside. "You need to leave. Now. He destroyed my life. He stole my music. I don't care what you think he did. You're not getting inside." The man lunged. The knife came fast. Marcus dodged left, felt the blade whisper past his ribs. His training kicked in: disarm, control, neutralize. He caught the man's wrist, twisted hard. The knife clattered to the ground. But the intruder was desperate, fueled by whatever rage had brought him here. He threw wild punches, screaming. "He stole from me. He stole everything." Marcus took a hit to the jaw but held on. Got the man in a control hold, forcing him to the ground. The intruder thrashed like a trapped animal. Then the south door burst open. Prince stood there in pajama pants and a t-shirt, eyes wide. He'd heard the commotion. "Marcus!" Prince shouted. "Stay back!" Marcus yelled, struggling to keep the intruder pinned. But Prince didn't stay back. He stepped closer, squinting in the security lights to see the man's face. Marcus had pulled the mask off during the struggle. Prince froze. "David?" His voice was barely a whisper. The intruder stopped struggling. Looked up at Prince with eyes full of tears and rage. "You remember my name," David said bitterly. "I didn't think you would." Backup arrived 2 minutes later. Police. More security. They took David into custody, read him his rights. But Prince stopped them before they took him away. "Wait. Just, wait." Gilbert tried to intervene. "Prince, this man threatened you. Broke into your property." "I know who he is," Prince said quietly. "Give me 5 minutes. Alone." Everyone looked at Marcus. Prince trusted Marcus's judgment. And Marcus, who'd spent 3 months learning to read Prince's needs, nodded. 5 minutes. I'll be right outside." They put David in a conference room, hands still cuffed. Prince sat across from him. Just the two of them. A legend and a man who wanted to destroy him. "I didn't steal your music," Prince said finally. "I didn't even know you'd submitted that demo to Paisley Park." David's face contorted. "Liar. 6 months after I sent that tape, you released a song with the exact same chord progression, same hook, same song structure that 10,000 musicians have used," Prince interrupted gently. "David, I write hundreds of songs. Sometimes they sound similar to things other people write because we're all pulling from the same musical traditions. That doesn't mean I stole from you. Then why didn't you credit me? Why didn't you?" "Because I didn't use your music. Your demo is still in a pile with hundreds of others I've never listened to. I don't steal, David. I don't need to." Something in Prince's voice, the exhaustion, the honesty, made David stop. The rage flickered. "I lost everything," David said, his voice breaking. "My wife left. I lost my job. I convinced myself that if I could just prove you stole from me, if I could make you admit it, then maybe it would all make sense. Maybe I'd matter." Prince was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something that surprised everyone listening outside. "You do matter. Not because of me. Not because of any song. You matter because you're human and you're hurting. But David, breaking into my home with a knife? That's not going to fix what's broken inside you." "I know," David whispered. "I know. I'm sorry. God, I'm so sorry." They arrested David. Charged him with trespassing, assault, criminal threatening. Prince didn't press for maximum charges. He asked the prosecutor to recommend mental health treatment instead of prison time. "He needs help, not punishment," Prince told Gilbert later. That night, at 2:47 a.m., Marcus found Prince in Studio A. Not crying this time. Just sitting. Thinking. "You saved my life tonight," Prince said when Marcus entered. "That's the job." "No. Prince looked at him. I mean, you saved my life 3 months ago. When you heard me crying and didn't walk away. When you stayed with me every night. When you taught me that carrying pain alone is what kills us. Marcus sat down in his usual spot across from Prince. If I'd been alone these past 3 months, Prince continued, if I'd still been drowning in grief, still punishing myself. I don't know if I would have had the strength to talk to David tonight. To see his pain instead of just his threat. You helped me heal enough to help someone else. You did that yourself, Marcus said. No. We did it together. Prince smiled, the kind of smile that only comes after surviving something dark. That's what I learned. We're not supposed to survive alone. We're supposed to let people in. Even when it's scary. Especially when it's scary. Marcus Thompson worked for Prince for the next 7 years. He wasn't just a bodyguard anymore. He was family. When Prince married, Marcus was there. When Prince fought with Warner Brothers, Marcus was there. And on the nights when the grief returned, because grief never fully leaves, it just changes, Marcus was there. Marcus taught me something I needed to learn, Prince said in a rare 1996 interview. He taught me that vulnerability isn't weakness. That asking for help isn't failing. That letting someone see you broken doesn't make you less of a person, it makes you more human. After Prince's death in 2016, Marcus was one of the pallbearers. At the funeral, he didn't tell the story of that first night. That was private. Sacred. Between him and Prince. But he did say this. Prince was a genius. Everyone knows that. But what most people don't know is that he was also deeply human. He hurt. He grieved. He struggled. And he learned that strength isn't about never falling apart, it's about having people around you who love you enough to sit with you while you do. In Paisley Park today, there's a photo in the security office that wasn't there during Prince's lifetime. It's from December 21, 1989. Marcus and Prince, taken the morning after the break-in. Marcus has a black eye from the fight. Prince has his arm around Marcus's shoulder. Under the photo, a small plaque reads, "Protection comes in many forms." The greatest gift we can give someone isn't solving their problems or fixing their pain. It's showing up. Being present. Sitting with them in the dark and reminding them they're not alone. Marcus didn't cure Prince's grief. He didn't prevent Prince from hurting. But he made sure Prince didn't face it alone. And that made all the difference. Share this story with someone who needs to know that asking for help isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Because we all need a Marcus. Someone who hears us crying and doesn't walk away.